Okay, so my name's Olivia Bailey. I'm from Campus Life, and we're celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is May, and I have two Oswego students. I'd like to introduce them. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Win Nimpu. I am majoring in art with studio emphasis, and I'm class 2021.
Hi, my name is Alasa Sarmiento. I'm a communication studies and music double major and an international business minor, and I'm graduating, so I'm a senior.
Nice. So, tell us a little bit about your heritage and where you're from. Uh, I know a lot of people from Oswego are from like New York City. I don't know if this is, are you guys going to be from, are you guys from New York City? Oh, you are? Okay. So maybe talk about a little bit about where you're from and your heritage and culture growing up.
For me, I'm currently living from Albany, New York. I came from Myanmar as a refugee on 2004, and I lived in the Bronx for a couple of years. Um, uh, my ethnicity is Karen. It's like an ethnicity in Myanmar. So, but we had to go through the border of Thailand just to come to New America because during that time was a bit of a hardship because some of like a civil war happening there.
And I'm Filipino, but I was born here, and my parents came here about 3 years before I was born. Well, they had me 3 years. They met and had me like about 3 years before I was born, and I grew up in Queens, so very culturally diverse in general, and has one of the larger like Filipino American populations in the U.S. So I was like well surrounded by my own culture, and that was fun for me. I still got to learn and find a community both at home.
I think something really important about this month is sharing the culture and learning more about it because it's often not shown in like mainstream TV media. And what it is, sometimes it's mostly stereotypical, and that doesn't do anyone any justice, and doesn't help show people what the culture's like. So maybe what was your favorite tradition or culture uh aspect that you had growing up or that you still have? Maybe it's a favorite food that maybe most Americans probably don't know because you know, we have the traditional Americanized food that's, you know. So if you have any like favorite aspects of that that you want to share.
For me, I actually have two cultures. One side is Burmese, and the other side is Karen. On the Burmese side, we always have a water festival like the same month as July 4th. And on the Karen side, we have the New Year that they do every January, where they celebrate traditional food, traditional dance, and like they're both the same way, but on different months.
For me, every year in New York City, there's like a Filipino Independence Day parade, like festival that happens in Manhattan, and it's always been like one of my favorite things to do. I've actually like marched in the parade like every year since high school because my high school had a Filipino club actually that I was actually the president of. So it's always fun to like actually see like a bunch of like your people like together in one spot because since New York City, I dropped something. I'm so sorry. But since New York City is like so like culturally diverse, it is nice to like actually like see it more like homogenized like to like just my people, and like see people enjoying the same foods, and like seeing families that look like yours, which is like always been such a big deal for me.
How have you guys translated those aspects into your college life? I mean, obviously, like you were saying that it's in July and January, so we're not really in school that time, those months that you celebrate. But how do you show your culture and everyday life as a college student in upstate New York, which isn't always very diverse?
Well, I don't have much to show like around on campus, but the thing is like I do have Burmese friends here in which we actually like did some like presentations. And I think last fall we also did that international I don't know what to call the international stand, what each individual countries put on their like posters and everything. We took the opportunity to do those, but other than that, we don't really show as much of our culture in our everyday life.
I think it's kind of comedic being like Filipino American sometimes, because there's like a lot of like internet culture around it where it's like Filipino Americans always go hard. Like in my closet, I have like a windbreaker that's like just that's just the Philippines flag. And I don't know if I've like ever like I can't remember the last time I actually wore it, but it was always fun, for example, because like I was part of like the Asian Student Association here. I'm actually the president now, so during like events like that, I would like be able to pop out with that outfit. And sometimes like just in my home life, like I'm the only Asian in my like immediate friend group here at school, but like with my housemates specifically, I like to I kind of make them watch Filipino movies and TV shows with me, and sometimes shove the food down their throats and they actually do like it, so it is like very affirming for me that I can like share that with them.
Now you guys have talked so highly of your experiences. Um, Obviously, with any culture and ethnicity, there are going to be some hardships because some people are just really rude and mean. And if you want to share any obstacles that you faced growing up or at Oswego, I mean, not specifically, like Oswego's pretty chill, but maybe in your college everyday life. I know things like I'm going to speak upon this like as I'm a white person, so it's kind of hard for me to say, but COVID really ostracized a lot of Asian people, and we've seen a lot of massacres, and that didn't help because of our racist president at the time. But has any of that type of mentality affected you negatively currently or in the past that you want to share upon?
For me, before right after the COVID hit in Oswego, my friends and we had like a really bad interaction at the Oswego Walmart, where we did get some racial slurs about us, and they will call us, how the Trump called the Chinese virus, but like we're not Chinese. But either way, there's no need to make such unnecessary racial slurs. And another thing is like, for me, throughout this whole school year for myself, I have like people call me Nui, as in my English name, but the whole time like I didn't correct them or anything. But my actual pronunciation name is Win Nimpyu, so I didn't correct any of them because I didn't know if it's necessary. But like growing up, and I see this whole the Asian culture things where like it's getting worse. I just want to like stand up for that.
I mean, I don't think I've had personally like anything like immediate happen to me, because like a lot of my like close-knit friends kind of make it a point to travel with me when I go to places. And while I am like thankful for that, in a way it has like made me feel like I can't ever like be alone, even though like I feel like a self-sufficient adult. And it is nice that like I have friends who are like allies who want to like look out for me, but it's also like very it always feels like there has to be somebody watching me, even though I inherently personally feel safe on the campus. Especially since like I do have like such like positive experiences, like at least on campus, but socially it's a bit different. Like I think like for a while, like people would match with me on like dating apps, for example, just to say something about like me being Asian, and I'm like, oh, okay, like why does this have to be like part of my experience socially?
I have seen through some of my friends being fetishized, which is crazy to me. And like it sucks because I can't help them through that experience because I only know my own personal experience through my background, and then I can't really like I want to like go with them and protect them, but at the same time we shouldn't be in a world where we have to be with them at all times. So it's just like really sucky is the only best way I could describe it, but I'm sure you guys can put way better vocabulary because you guys experience those types of things. Um, so thank you for sharing those moments that you've had. I'm sure they're not always easy to share, and going through it, I'm probably 10 times worse than just sharing it. So thank you. So you, oh, I forgot. Okay, how do you say Elasis?
It's
Elasis?
Alasses, if that helps.
Elasis? Okay. So you're graduating this May?
Yes.
Okay. And okay, can you pronounce your name?
Win?
Win?
Yeah.
Okay, Win. So and you're graduating, I'm sorry,
I'm
2021?
2021 in December.
Okay. So I mean a few months apart, but overall, your experience at Oswego, one's ending quite quickly, quite soon, which is great. Happy for you, a little jealous. And the other one, you've got a few more months, but you can do it. Trust me, I'm with you.
Actually, I'm coming back for like an advanced search program, so it's not completely over.
Why would you not? I'm not saying why would you
Well,
go to
honestly,
Oswego,
I don't know why I would do it either.
but how is your experience with your respective majors at Oswego, and why you chose Oswego specifically for those majors? I know some people, flip flop and change, which is totally okay. But why did you stick with Oswego?
For me, I came as a transfer student from a community college, and since the art department here seems like it was the best option, and I've seen so many like positive like comments of how like the art professor here are wonderful, and for me, I thought to myself like Oswego, like I need to get away from home for a bit, but I feel like Oswego seems like a really amazing community, especially in the major that I am, and how helpful how they have been, and uh, they've also been like helpful with everything that I needed the most.
I originally came here just as a communication studies major, and I mostly joined that major because my friends back home were like, I think you'd be good at this profession, and I ended up liking it. I tacked on the music major in the beginning of my sophomore year because I actually went to a performing arts high school, and I didn't know if I was going to continue music, but I ended up coming back to it anyway. And the reason I stayed with both of those majors they're kind of similar in a way because, for example, for the comm department specifically, I noticed how different my perspective was because we constantly did talk about other cultures and how people have different views of the world, or I experienced that a lot myself, just for example, living in my housemates. My housemates are me, and then it's two white people and a black person, and it all I just noticed how different my perspective was, and I wanted to really learn how to articulate that. So that's why I stuck with the comm major. As for the music major, that was more purely for me because I've always loved being a musician growing up. And while I know there is the Asian stereotype that to go into more higher paid professions, that was more for me. So going into an arts field was kind of taboo for my family, but at the same time, it was also because I know that there were other people who other Asian people who wanted to go into fields like music, like art, for example. And seeing that someone else can do it in the field is very empowering, I know, for people. So I stuck with both of them just to be a face and a perspective.
That's really great. Oh my gosh, my voice and my dogs were barking, so hopefully they stopped. You spoke about being empowering for future Asian American kids and Pacific Islander kids, because there is the stereotype of the lawyers, doctors, or you know computer kind of genre computer based careers, and you both are very creative in your majors, which is great. It's great either way, whatever major someone chooses. But speaking on the empowering thing, what would you say to younger Asian American girls, or people with your ethnicity that are debating going to a upstate New York school, which we know isn't very diverse? When you mentioned you're running at Walmart here, and that can be really off-putting for a lot of people. That can just deter their whole college career. So what would you say to those young girls or young boys or anyone who's thinking about college, as an Asian American, as a Pacific Islander, or someone who shares your ethnicity heritage?
I think for my message would be like join organizations, join like any like the Asian associations, join any organization that's interested in you, like the Japanese club if you're interested. And most of all, like don't be afraid. Like even though you're like getting judged or like someone's harassing you, you're not gonna see them again. Like it's just literally like 1 minute and you're gone and you'll never see them again. And honestly, like be yourself and enjoy the community and have fun and explore and like yeah, something like that.
For me, it's more of a kind of want to just remind them that like not the entire world is like that, because like I do know what it's like to like, you know, get targeted like for a crime like that, and in that second it feels sorry, but it feels like crap, and it's hard to like not keep your mind on it, but like always remembering that in the general state of things, not the entire world is like that, and there are going to always like be people who are by your side, and it's okay to like have the feelings about things that happened, and just remembering that you do like have a support system like with your own friends, your own home base, and people are just always going to like look out for you. Like in general the college is like very liberal, but like, you know, people, protection, it's all there.
Yeah, I think Oswego is pretty diverse for a SUNY school, and it is a liberal school in a lot of ways. And I think you guys have found great friends, which is great. I mean, some people aren't as lucky, but I think joining those clubs is definitely a way to meet those friends or just have the support system. You don't necessarily have to be buddy buddy with them, but just having a place to talk. But thank you so much. Hey. I'm so sorry. Well, thank you for sharing your experiences with me. Can you guys still hear the barking? Bernie. Okay. I promise they're really cute and lovable, but dang. So thank you again for sharing your experiences with me, and oh my god. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes. I'm just gonna put them in a different room.
Hey girl, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have I seen you before?
Yes, I think you have.
Yeah, I lived in Hart at some point, so and I work in Hart still, so I was wondering if I have. I probably scanned your packages if you had any, right?
Like last fall? Yeah, last fall. No, wait, 2 years ago. I came here in 2019 fall. So
Yeah, I lived on the ninth floor.
I heard that Heart isn't gonna have IST anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna apply to be a GRM, but without the IST program, I can't.
Sorry about that. We're having a cat infestation, I guess you would call it. I mean, I'm fine with it. A bunch of cats, but my two dogs aren't in our neighborhood. And there's like a little kitten outside.
Oh,
I know. I'm gonna go and try it. I'm not gonna touch it because I've been told don't do that, and I'm not gonna feed it. But I just wanna, take little photos of it. So sorry about that. And you guys, I heard you guys in my AirPods. You guys got to you were in Heart together. I love Heart. It's always a good place to hang out. But thank you again for sharing your experiences with me and everyone at Oswego. It's been really enlightening for me myself just to hear different experiences. I love doing these interviews because I get to meet new people. And I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors in college and in life. And happy Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So, bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.